So what is going on, Navigation Nation? Welcome back to another Q&A Friday. So good to have all of you here once again in the navigation station. We've got some fun stuff to get through here tonight. Another week is behind us, another week ahead. So good to have all of you here in this live chat. We got Bilal, we got Poke Fanatic, SDC Collectibles, we've got Fefmon, Jin, Travis, and PokeKid92. How is everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you guys had an awesome week. A lot of cool news that dropped this week, and just even more craziness to come, I'm sure. So right at the top of the hour, guys, as I always like to do, I always like to go ahead and drop any announcements. First of all, the newest episode of the Pokemon Masterclass that will be coming out tomorrow. That will drop at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that is with none other than Danny Phantom. Yeah, that's right. You guys did it. We had that call to action last week. And I tell you guys, it really, really helps when a lot of these other content creators are seeing the amount of responses that you guys are giving on their videos. I mean, it was almost immediately he reached right back out to me. He said, hey, man, would love to be on the podcast. We made it happen. We actually ended up recording late last night. As you guys know, Danny, he is a grinder, and he was up late packing orders. It's a really busy time for him right now because with Shining Fates being released next week, the amount of orders that he's getting now, pre-orders, the amount of inventory that he's now stocking is pretty crazy. So we had our conversation last night. Awesome. Again, guys, so many gems of information packed into those podcast episodes. I'm really trying to keep those now to about an hour. I think right around an hour is just the right time frame to get in a lot of good information without being too drawn out and too overwhelming and too long-winded for everyone to keep their attention on. So trying to keep those around an hour. I think the episode will end up being about an hour, 15 minutes or so, which I think is just right. But again, I want to thank you guys so much for doing that call to action last week. And as I said, it certainly did the trick because none other than Danny Phantom is on the podcast for tomorrow. And in regards to that, I think I would like to do another one here tonight. Again, give you guys the option of who you want to really see on the podcast, and then we will do another call to action. Again, we'll just go to their most recent video and just put in, please be on PokéNav's Masterclass series, because it certainly works, guys. So we'll probably do that at about 4:30 my time. So we'll do that here in about 30 minutes or so, and see who everyone really wants to see next. Other than that, guys, I think that is the only announcement. The other thing that I'll just mention here really quickly, things are coming along really well with the website, getting everything fine-tuned at this point. It's looking like we should have everything up and running by the end of the month. I'm hoping to actually get it before then, because I would like to try to do our first box break, if we can, before the end of the month. I'd actually like to do it on Pokemon Day, but it just may not work out that way. But definitely by the end of the month, should have the website completely up and running, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a really, really great place, really good resource, I think, for all of you out there. So what is going on? Everybody joining in right now. We've got Vincent LG, we got Connor B, TRV, PM, I guess Market. Who else we got? Lorenzo, Banana Zero, Jurassic Carp, Matt Garrett, H. Keller, Harem, Jurassic, and One Big Dingus. What's going on, everybody? All right, guys, so I think that is going to do it for our announcements. So let's start jumping into some questions. Right at the top of the list here, SDC Collectibles. I'm all in on this new Eevee set coming out in Japan late May. I don't blame you a bit, my friend. I think that is going to be a very, very good set. The fact that they're really focusing it around Eevee and the evolutions, which have always been super popular, I think this set is really going to do very, very well. So I don't blame you a bit for going all in on this particular one. What set did you go all in on when you first got into Pokemon, and how long do you plan to hold on to them? Thank you so much. Well, as I've said before, I got in about mid 2016, so you guys will be like, well, of course, but Evolutions was one that I went pretty hard on, and that I still have a fairly good amount. You know, I've got, you guys have probably heard me say it before, I've got 2 cases of Evolutions booster boxes that I've held on to, and plan on holding on to those, you know, at least for a good amount of time. And, you know, outside of that, the other one was Burning Shadows, which came out maybe early mid 2017. Really like that set, and that's another one. I think I've got about a case of Burning Shadows, but yeah, just you know, it's tough because back then there just wasn't the same kind of mindset around, oh, I really need to go all in on like this set that's coming out, because we just never thought that it would get to the, you know, level of craziness back then that it's currently at now. So, but those are the 2 that I would say I went hard on in the beginning, and that I'm still holding on to. What is the rarest Pokemon card to be released in 2020? Lowest pop 2020 card with no Worlds card in 2020. What are your thoughts for low pop Japanese Pikachu, Cormoran, or Plump Musician? I'm actually not too familiar with either of those 2 cards, to be honest. Yeah, I know PokéNav doesn't know everything. But the rarest cards to be released in 2020, you know, it's tough to say. You know, if we're talking about both English and Japanese, man, you know, there was that card that Leonhardt was able to acquire that had the CEO of the Pokemon Company on it, which I think was a part of like his birthday or like a celebration or something like that. That's one card that I saw from last year that I thought, wow, that's definitely one I would like to get my hands on. You know, but outside of that, you know, because we didn't have any trophy cards, I don't know. It's really hard to say. You know, there's just so many cards out there, and you know, to say which one might have been the rarest, I just don't even know off the top of my head. But that's one that I would say has the makings of being a very rare and valuable card. Fethmon, is it still worth it to buy the pre-release set from Vivid Voltage as an investment because of the Lugia Charizard card? Depends on your price point. You know, those cards are, especially the staff pre-release ones, they're really climbing in value. You know, the regular pre-release cards, I think they're still, I think it's still a good investment. I think it will be for the long term, and especially if they continue to have the staff pre-release cards discontinued. I think those will be a great long-term investment. And remember, guys, if you guys have a question, be sure to tag at PokéNav at the beginning of your question. It's just a little bit easier for me to spot out in the live chat, and that way I can make sure that I get to all of your questions. Let's see here. TRVP Market. PokéNav, really big fan. Thank you, my friend. Have you been soaking up all the knowledge you've been sharing? Or have been soaking up all the knowledge you've been sharing? Quick question. Let's see. Where is your question? I recently acquired staff card promos from Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, and Rebel Clash. Do you think I just keep them sealed or get them graded? So, you know, what I have found is that the sealed cards themselves, when you get those graded, they generally garner a higher premium than actually taking the card out and having just the card itself graded. So I think it really depends on because really when PSA or some of these other companies are grading those sealed cards, they're really grading the package itself. So if it's in really good condition, then I would say have them graded in the package itself. If it's not, then I would go ahead and take those cards out and then just have them graded individually. So it's interesting though. It's, up until about a year ago, I didn't even know that PSA and some of these other companies actually graded cards still sealed like that, in the individual sleeves. So still kind of a baffling thing to me, but it does seem that's the case. Seems like they garner higher premium when they are still sealed. Jaden Lee, how much do sealed vintage products usually appreciate per year? Wow, there really is no hard and fast number, and it's only really been over the last 2 years that we've actually seen a significant appreciation and year-over-year return for vintage products. So really we are at the precipice of being able to collect this type of data to get more of a forecast of where vintage products are really headed. But I would say it's far too early to really, be able to throw out a number as to, what a year-over-year return would look like, because one, it's only very recent that they have been appreciating at a significant rate, and two, they've fluctuated so much that it would be I would be remiss if I tried to give you a hard and fast number at this point. But we'll just have to wait and see. I think over the next 4 or 5 years we'll have a better idea of exactly what some of those year-over-year returns look like. One Big Dingus, I appreciate the support, my friend. Yang Power, have an XY Evolution pre-release Charizard PSA 9. Do you think it will go up after Logan Paul's opening? I think pretty much everything is going to go up after Logan Paul's opening, and in fact, I'm banking on it. Currently in the process right now of actually brokering a deal for a gentleman here in the Phoenix metro area. So I am banking on the price of products going up after Logan Paul's opening, and I'll fill you guys in more on exactly what I've got in store and what I'm actually brokering for this particular person. And speaking of that, guys, it actually reminds me of a conversation that I had with PokéFuel in his podcast. I talk a lot about, when you're first starting out, of being able to build up capital in order to start investing and making sure you've got a good financial foundation. Well, one of the other things that I haven't recommended to people is actually brokering. So just basically being the liaison between buyer and seller. You don't need any capital in order to do that. And really it's just all about your knowledge in the hobby and being able to garner products for individuals who are looking for a particular piece. So that's another thing that I've done over the years and still am doing to this day, and will be hopefully it all works out well. I mean, it's already going to work out well, but I think it's going to be even more pronounced here in the next month to month and a half. Thoughts on the SL cards from Call of Legends? Think about picking up some of them at PSA 8, 9 levels. Yeah, the thing is, guys, we're starting to get to that time horizon now with sets like Call of Legends where you're starting to really see those pick up in value. And, PSA 8 near mint, PSA 9 gem mint status, I think that's a great idea. PokeKid92, I think that would be an excellent avenue to put your capital towards. Connor B, PokéNav, what is your Pokemon investment strategy for the rest of 2021 with so much market hype? Really what I'm focusing on, one is I fully plan on a lot of like the base set products to really appreciate. I'm also planning on the second generation of products, really appreciating. So a lot of my focus is focusing more on like base set, especially after Logan Paul's after his break. I think that there's going to be more focus on generation 2, so I'm also focusing a lot on individual cards from the Neo era as well. Beyond that, I would also say that I am really starting to look more into Japanese cards, more obscure cards. I think that the hobby as a whole is becoming more and more knowledgeable, more and more educated, and I think collectors and investors alike are going to start looking for more obscure products. So I'm really focusing more attention on the non-TCG products. So if you guys haven't watched my most recent undervalued Pokemon card series, I believe that dropped on Tuesday, talks specifically about non-TCG products. So that's Topps Chrome. That is, well, one that PokéNav just dropped is the Meiji cards as well, MEIJI. Those are another one to take a look at. What else? I can't even remember. I can't even remember what I talked about in my own video. But definitely the Topps. What was the other one that I talked about in there? I don't know why I'm blanking on it. But yeah, just basically all non-TCG products. Those are the another area that I'm really looking at and really focusing on, because I think a lot more people are going to be, are going to be looking for some of these more obscure type of cards. So that's really what it looks like, kind of in a nutshell. Lorenzo, do you think the reprint announcement that Pokemon made will drive the market way down, or you think it's more of a PR move and the supply will just trickle in slowly? So this is a conversation that I had with Danny as well. We're both under, the guy, this statement that Pokemon put out. We're both wondering, what does this really mean? Does this mean that, this new reprint, is this going to be for like big box stores, the Walmarts, the Targets, all of these different places? Is this going to mean more allocation towards card shops? Is this going to be more allocation towards third-party vendors? It's kind of vague and obscure as to what these new allocation and what this reprint is actually going to look like. So if it's basically industry wide and everybody is getting more product, then yeah, I would say that the price overall for a lot of these products is going to come down, which honestly, guys, that's what you want, right? I mean, granted, yeah, it is nice to be able to, especially if you've got your reseller's permit, you're working with the distributor, you're getting prices at wholesale, you can really make up a pretty decent margin when selling those on the open market, but that can't last forever. Realistically, we do want to see new sets at MSRP or close to it, and that way everybody can really enjoy it, and if you have less scalpers out there, I think in the end it's just overall a good thing for the entire hobby. So we'll have to see how it pans out. I think if it permeates throughout everyone, and that's big box stores, that's card shops, and that's third-party online vendors, then I think, yes, we will see the prices for modern, ultra-modern products come back down. But they may only be focusing on new sets coming out and then moving forward. So everything basically 2020, those may still increase in value or continue to increase in value because they're not going to focus on reprinting those just yet. Okay, Gian, just curious, with the increased production of future sets, does this affect the value of future sealed products, ETBs, booster boxes, etc.? The increased production of future sets, does this affect the value of future sealed products? I mean, in the short term, I think it will, certainly. I mean, you're gonna be able to pick up products at MSRP for quite some time. So again, you're not gonna have those short-term gains like what we've seen in this last year, but that's the way that it was before. That's really the way that it's always been. Again, guys, that's where I recommend, like with modern, ultra-modern products, what you do is when a set comes out, pick up a couple cases of booster boxes or ETBs, and then just hold those for the long term. Hold those for like 4 years, and then you'll start to see all of those appreciate in value. I think the short-term gains and those big profit margins that you've seen over the last year, I think those are going to dwindle as production ramps back up. Now, there are going to be some sets, like the Hidden Fates and, some of these other sets that were still hard to get, even in a, pre-COVID era. These were still hard to get, and, people were still able to make money in the short term on flipping those. So I think there'll still be sets along the way that'll be like that, but we'll really go back to the way that things used to be, and you'll really have to wait like that 3-4 year time horizon before these ultra modern products really start to appreciate. Poke Dynamics, predictions on how far back will Pokemon reprint. Well, here's the thing, and if you guys listen to my conversation with OmniPoke, the competitive scene, they rotate their, what is allowed in the competitive scene every 2 years. So I believe now it's everything like, I want to say like maybe Sun and Moon after. I could be totally wrong on that, but honestly, I don't see them going back any further than probably Sword and Shield base set and reprinting those personally. What are your thoughts on Edward Munch Scream Pokemon cards, the Japanese promos? Yeah, I really like those. Again, they're kind of those unique, obscure, one-off type of cards, Japanese exclusive cards. Those check all of the boxes off for me. Derek Livingston, hey Nav, I got my reverse holo Skyridge Umbreon back in a PSA 7, but I don't know what to price it at. Not a lot of data on it. So for that one, what I would do, let's go ahead and see. So holo Skyridge Umbreon. Go ahead and bring you guys in. Okay, let's see if we can help you out, my friend. So PSA 10s, I've typed in PSA 7, let's see. I think this is the one you're talking about here. Looks like the reverse holofoil PSA 7 near mint. Looks like the last one was $76. So, just going off the most recent sales data, I would go ahead. I wouldn't put it out there just yet, my friend, because here in a couple weeks, the price of most products are probably going to increase. You could probably go ahead and sell that for probably over 100 here in a couple weeks. So I would just go ahead and hold on to that for now. But yeah, you can just go ahead and go out onto eBay. Looks like the most recent sale for that one was $76 back in mid-January. Creative Minte, what is going on, my friend? GMA Gaming or Grading, excuse me, I don't have a whole lot of information about them, guys, to be honest with you. I've always just kind of stuck with the big two, PSA and Beckett, and then now CGC. Haven't really gotten into GMA or any of the other grading companies, so I apologize. Someone that you could ask about that is our buddy Omosh, who's a middleman for all three companies, Beckett, PSA, and CGC. So that's somebody that I would reach out to, but I personally don't have a whole lot of knowledge about GMA. Let's see. My boy Jules is in the house. What is going on, Jules? Good to have you here, my friend, as always. What are your thoughts on base set Charizards for the long term? You know, I think that they will fluctuate more, and we'll have to see how many come back onto the market once PSA sends all of these cards back, probably over the next year or so. I think that will really determine it, because again, guys, there's a difference between popularity and rarity, and just because that card is popular doesn't necessarily make it rare. Now, there is something to be said about collectors wanting that card, because it is kind of the gold standard for collections, you know, for most people. So there is some credence behind that. But I think that the pop report will really determine, you know, where that card goes in the long term. My name is Cade. Finally finished my complete Neo Genesis first edition set. My hat's off to you, my friend. All cards are raw. Do you think it would be worth sending them off to grading, even if some say get a 5-6 grade, or sell as a complete set? Well, I think what you should do is definitely sell it as a complete set, but sell it as a complete graded set. Even if some of those come back in a 5 or 6, having a full master set of Neo Genesis, there's a lot of people out there that would absolutely love that, even if some of those are in a lower grade. And what a lot of people will do is they'll buy a master set, you know, even if some of them are lower, and then they may sell some of those off to or trade up, you know, to try to get higher grades. So, you know, yeah, I think a master set would definitely be the way to go, even if some of those are in lower grades. Yeah, and definitely hold on to them for a little while. All right, Ryo, thank you for the content you put out. I appreciate that, my friend. I started collecting Japanese cards that have first edition stamps on them. Where do you think they will go? Well, anytime you've got a first edition stamp on a card, that is already going to garner a premium. And it's one of the reasons I've actually become more bullish with CP6, even over Evolutions, because of the first edition stamps that are on the CP6 cards. So I think that is something you should always be looking out for. It's just those little things that set particular cards apart, and a first edition stamp is definitely one of those. Where do I think they will go? I mean, I have no idea. I can't give you a firm price, but I think that those are the characteristics that you want to be looking for long-term value. TRV, yeah, I would go ahead and keep all 4 cards sealed, as long as the individual packaging looks good to you, because that's really what they're going to be grading there, because you will garner a higher premium from those cards if they are still sealed. Examinator, haven't looked into Marvel or DC. That would be my boy Jules' forte. I stick to Pokemon, and I dabble a little bit in vintage Dragon Ball Z, but outside of that, I have no idea. So my boy Jules can take you up on that one. Logan Paul's first edition auction pack sold for $36 to $42K. Is this just Logan Paul, or will it transfer to the vintage and modern market? Well, I think the fact that he's doing another box break is going to bring in more people. You're going to see the prices on products increase. I can guarantee it, especially vintage products, which is honestly, you know, again, I'm banking on it with this current deal that I'm working on right now. So yeah, I fully expect that all vintage products are going to be increasing in value, and probably most modern as well. Pokemon, I think, will be combating that at the same time with reprinting more product, but we'll see if they can keep up with the demand. Do you think Shiny Star V will lose in value long term after Shining Fates releases? I think in the short term it will lose value. It's what we normally see once the English equivalent is released. But in the long term, I think that it will still have really good value. And long term, I say 5+ years. So we got Obese Venusaur. Do you think the price hike for the current Pokemon McDonald's cards would drastically affect the old Japanese McDonald's Pokemon cards? Mickey D's Pikachu Holo 2002 PSA 10 sold for $7.99. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. When one area of the TCG starts to get a lot of focus, that has a trickle down effect with other cards, you know, or similar cards from the past. And I definitely think the older McDonald's cards, with what we're seeing right now, there's more focus on it, more people talking about it, it's in the news. Those should see an increase right now as well. And in fact, that is what we're seeing. Coffee Cappuccino, what do you think about the Maijai Battle promos? You know, I was pretty unfamiliar with those up until I had my conversation with Jake and Rafi, and I'm so glad that Jake actually is the one that turned me on to those cards, because I was completely unaware. But again, I think they're a non-TCG product that has a lot of potential. A crazy jump in prices for the Wizards of the Coast Harry Potter booster boxes over the last 24 hours. Worth investing in? I really don't want to give a recommendation on something like that, because I have no idea. I have no idea, my friend. I mean, maybe, you know, if you're seeing like a trend there, but yeah, I have no. I didn't even read the books for Harry Potter, so I am completely inept when it comes to that particular TCG. Team Trubbish, are you opening anything these days? I mean, I haven't been doing a whole lot of openings myself. I'm sure, you know, when Shining Fates gets released, I'm sure I'll be opening some of that, and maybe even doing some box breaks around that. But yeah, recently haven't been opening a whole lot, really just mainly been trying to garner products for the website, working, as I said, on a brokered deal right now as well, which should pan out to be a pretty big deal. And you know, just been putting my focus on that. So the fun has kind of gone by the wayside for now. PokeKid92, is the Evolutions booster box going to 2,000 after Logan Paul break? I personally think so. I do. And I'm not just saying that, guys. Just looking at what, you know, history has a tendency to repeat itself, and just based upon what we've seen from the past, I really think that at the very latest, the end of this year, our Evolutions booster boxes will hit $2,000. I truly think so, if not sooner. MS Workmeister in the house. How you doing, my friend? I completed my Evolution set this week. Congratulations. Several cards in my Master set have PSA 10 potential. With singles spiking, would you recommend sending those cards off and replacing them? Yeah, you know, I would go ahead and, again, like I said, I think over the course of this year, you're going to see, you know, sets like Evolutions that have like that base set-esque type of feel to them. You're going to see those increase in value over the course of this year. So yeah, if you've got some that are PSA 10 potential, I would go ahead and send those in, and then yeah, see if you can go ahead and just replace them in the short term. But yeah, definitely getting the PSA 10s graded, I think, would be a great thing. It's just, you know, you probably, if you're going with PSA, you're probably not going to be getting those back for quite some time. So you'll want to make sure that you're filling in the gaps. And thank you again for that super chat, my friend. Just at PSA 2, people are shining flashlights through McDonald's packs to see holos. Be careful about buying from untrusty sources. Yeah, good advice there, my friend. I mean, what we're seeing right now, it is crazy, but we've seen it in the past. I can remember things in the late 90s, early 2000s that were similar from what we've seen, like with the cereal boxes and things like that. So yeah, it really doesn't surprise me, but it's pretty disgusting nonetheless. All right, guys, so we are now at, it is 4:35 my time. I want to take just a quick little break here. I want to know who you guys want to see on the next Pokemon Masterclass. Go ahead and put it in the live chat. We're going to do another call to action here to go ahead and get them on. If you guys didn't hear earlier, we have Danny Phantom on for the episode that is dropping tomorrow. I had my conversation with Danny last night, and it is a gem of an episode. But it's really all thanks to you guys. That call to action that we had last week on Danny's latest video, that really, in my opinion, really propelled him to reach back out to me and to come on the podcast, and we had a fantastic time. So I want to do the same thing here. I want to know who you guys want to see on the podcast, most of all, and then we're going to do another call to action. We've got 110 people in this live chat, so if 110 of us all comment on their most recent video, then I have a good feeling that we will be able to get them on. So let's try to get a consensus here of who we want to see next, and then we will do that call to action. And speaking of that, guys, 106 people in this live chat, and we only got 34 likes. Please, guys, go ahead and give me that double slap attack, but just one slap for that like button. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, if you're your first time here, then welcome. Make sure you give me another slap for that subscribe button as well. So we're getting a lot of Dr. Applesauce. I have not, I'll be honest with you guys, I am not even familiar with Dr. Applesauce. I'm gonna have to look this up. I gotta look up this guy. Okay. I'm checking him out. Let me go ahead and bring you guys in so that you can check him out too. So this is Dr. Applesauce. Tips, tricks, and unboxings every week. Looks like he's into the Funkos. A little bit of everything on here. Huh, interesting. Never heard of the guy, but yeah, I mean, if you guys have sincere interest in me speaking with him, and you guys think that he would bring value to a conversation, then I would be more than happy to. But let's see what everybody is saying. Oh, we got a German Pokemon YouTuber, Zero of Time. Interesting. We'll have to check him out as well. Because yeah, I would like to talk to people, you know, from around the world to get their perspective on the collecting and investing scene as well. Oh, okay. People are saying I gotta go to Dr. Applesauce 2. Must be his Pokemon channel. It looks like he's got pretty cool videos. Okay. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Let's see, old school Pokemon. All right. Yeah, again, we've already tried Twice Baked Jake, guys. He is not able to come on right now. Just a lot going on. So I am not sure, honestly, when we might be able to get Jake on, even though I would love to. Yeah, I don't think Rudy. I don't think we're gonna get Rudy either. Collect Pokemon. Okay, so I think you guys. That's let me Zero of Time. I want to look up this guy because that's actually a really good idea to get on, you know, somebody from another country. Oh, guys, Oh, does he speak English though? I hope so, because I only know a few German phrases, so I don't know if I could make that work unless my guy speaks English. Can you guys let me know? Deep Pocket Monster, I think that would be cool as well. I've actually had a few conversations with Pat, so I have full expectation of getting him on the podcast as well. Okay, yes, people are saying yes, he can. Okay. People saying Polish Rob. Yeah, I love Rob. Yeah, there's only a few German phrases that I actually know, but it looks like he does speak English. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that, guys. Ich bin Ausländer und sprech nicht gut Deutsch. Something about speaking German. I am able to speak German, maybe. MS Workmeister. So yeah, let's do that, guys. I think that would be a lot of fun. So the Zero of Time. Let me go to his most recent video. I think that would be fun to go ahead and have him on. So let's go to his most recent video. I will just go ahead and share that with you guys. And let's go ahead and get him on. I would love to speak with a content creator from elsewhere and be able to get their take on everything. So here we go, guys. I'm going to go ahead and post the video there into the live chat so you guys can go ahead and see it there. And in fact, I'll go ahead and pin that to the top of the live chat as well, so you guys can go right to the video. And then, just something like, if you guys want to copy and paste this, you're more than welcome to. Please be on PokéNav's Pokemon Masterclass podcast. And I'll be sure to reach out to him as well. Okay. Do we type it in German? Guys, I'll have to translate first before you do. Oh man. No, just go ahead. If he speaks English, then I'm sure he'll understand it. But yeah, let's just go ahead and go to that particular video, guys, and then just go ahead. You can copy and paste my message in the live chat. Just please be on PokéNav's Pokemon Masterclass podcast. That should be fun. Yeah, looking forward to getting him on. I think that I love Germany. I'm just gonna say that my wife and I go back. Well, not last year, but we've been there for the last few years, and we love Germany. That's where our ancestors are from, and we love just the German countryside. We explore a lot of like the Bavaria region, go to Oktoberfest, and I love Germany and German culture. So that would be that'd be a lot of fun. Okay, guys, so let's get back to some questions here. I'm going to have a hard stop tonight at 5 p.m. sharp. The wife and I, we are going to our Valentine's Day dinner tonight. So if I am late for that, then PokéNav is going to be in the doghouse, and you guys don't want that. All right, let's get into these questions here. Do you think the Charizard V promo will be worth it to grade if you won't receive it for 9 to 12 months? It's really hard to say, man. I think there's going to be so many of those coming onto the market over the next probably 6 months or so. I don't know. It's really hard to say because I think the populations of those are just going to be astronomical. 1314 Roy, awesome content. I appreciate that, my friend. I invested $4K in your recommendations and already made some profit. Well, I'm glad to hear that, my friend. Glad to hear that. Make sure that you pay attention to a lot of the other collectors and investors that I bring on, so that you make sure you're kind of getting that holistic picture as well, because that's really the best approach, in my opinion, is really taking all of that knowledge, all of that information, and really bringing it together to what works best for you. Hey, I think Dr. Applesauce is in the house. Dr. Applesauce, what is up, my friend? Hey, go ahead and send me an email, my friend, if you'd like to be on the podcast. I would definitely like to have a conversation with you. Just go ahead and send me an email or shoot me a DM over on Instagram, PokéNav27@gmail, or Pokemon or Real PokéNav on Instagram. I'd love to chat with you, my friend. All right, let's see. By June, where do you see Team Rocket First Edition booster boxes going for? Well, let's first of all, let's go ahead and take a look and see what they are currently going for, because it changes all the time. Man, I tell you what, this was one of the, in my opinion, was a sleeper set for the longest time. It was sitting, basically from a price relativity standpoint with the cards, the value of the cards on the inside, the value of these booster boxes were super undervalued for the longest time, but now the market is caught up. All right, booster box. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to our sold listings here, see what it is going for. It's actually dropped in price from the last time that I looked at it. 24,000. Yeah, I think honestly these are gonna probably be on par with like a base set unlimited booster box. So by June, I would not be surprised, in my opinion, if first edition Team Rocket booster boxes aren't going for, after Logan's break, after, with the 25th anniversary, I would not be surprised if those were, hitting over 35 to, perhaps even over 40,000 by that time, to be quite honest. I think it's right on par with kind of a similar value, even though it's first edition. Base set is still always, going to garner a little bit more of a premium in people's eyes. I think eventually that will kind of phase out, but I think right now the way that people evaluate that, it's probably on par with like base set unlimited, and I think it'll probably be around the same price point by June. Goated Pools, hey man, yeah. I'd love to see your channel grow, my friend. And you never know, one day we could be chatting it up on the podcast. Ripper Sit, Vivid Voltage, Build and Battle Box. I would say I would give that one a sit at this point. Some of the hype on those Build and Battle boxes have died down a little bit. I would sit on that one for now. TCG, Ace of Hearts. How do I feel what's going on with the scalping after the TCG? I mean, it's egregious. I've talked about it before, but I think that it will subside to a certain extent with Pokemon putting out the statement of more reprints. The more product that's out there, the less likely scalpers are going to go out and buy all of those. If Pokemon's just going to reprint it and put it back on shelves, they're not going to be able to garner the same type of profit margins that they would before with such a limited supply. So hopefully that'll happen. Thoughts on Japanese products shooting up in value? Do you see it as a viable investment as American product becomes harder to get? I certainly do. I've talked about Japanese products a lot on my channel, and I think that I mean, really, you're getting the same products, guys. You're getting the same products at a discount, really. Same artwork, just in a different language. So, and I think you'll start to see some of the other languages start to climb in value as well. You know, talking about, you know, Germany, those like German base set booster boxes, other WotC German booster boxes, you'll start to see those climb in value as well as, you know, this whole craze becomes even more worldwide and more pervasive. Blast Boost 86, hey, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much for the support. Do I know if PSA turnaround times are as long as PSA? I think they're pretty, from what I remember with Jules and I conversation with Omash, I think they're fairly on par. I think you'll probably be able to get them back a little bit sooner than PSA with Beckett, but you're also going to pay more with Beckett. But if you got some, you know, top tier cards, it's probably worth it to try to get those back out on the open market. When does a Pokemon set go out of print? I mean, technically there's no set time frame or date when it can go out of print. But what we typically see is that once it goes out of rotation, meaning it's no longer viable for the competitive scene, Pokemon really doesn't have a motivation to reprint those type of products. So usually at about 2 years is when you see it go out of rotation, and that's usually when we stop seeing prints of that particular set. But all in all, there's no set time frame. All right, guys, 110 people in this live chat. Let's get those likes over 100. If you haven't slapped that like button yet, please do it now, guys. We got about 8 minutes left in this live Q&A. Let's get over 100 likes, and I will try to get through as many questions as I possibly can. Can I do a podcast with Red or Blue? Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, but and again, guys, you know, it's just trying to get on the you know, it's not always easy being able to get on certain folks. So you know, if you guys have suggestions, be sure to send them over to me. You know, send them over to my email, direct message me over on Instagram. I'm now on Twitter. Forgot to mention that. Your boy PokéNav is now on Twitter at Real PokéNav, so you guys can connect with me over there. And be sure to send me a message if there's somebody that you guys would recommend or that you would like seeing. MS Workmeister, with the McDonald set being out for months, do you think there is long-term investment potential on a master set? I'm pretty sick of eating nuggets. I think for the long term, those will probably have value, but yeah, in the short term, I just don't understand why people would pay any more than what I think is like $1, $2 a pack or something like that. But in the long term, you know, 10 years from now, do I think those will probably be pretty nostalgic? And collectors will want those? Yeah, I do. But in the short term, I don't know. It's definitely not something that I'm looking at. Miroslav, you can't double slap the like. Just a double slap, one for the like, one for the subscribe. Guys make it so complicated out there. Excellent. Hey, Dr. Applesauce. I think we might have something in the works. Appreciate you checking out the channel, my friend. Thor the Odin Sun base set unlimited should be 150k if it follows the 10% rule of first edition box. It has followed that rule since I bought mine 8 years ago. Logan basically sold that box for 1.5 mil. Yeah, it is pretty crazy, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where base set unlimited goes. It's could be to the moon after his box break. We will see. Do you think it's more valuable to open Japanese box since their cards tend to grade better or sit on it? You know, I get this question all the time, guys, and I always say the same thing. It really depends on your situation and what you're looking to do. Just as you said, Japanese cards tend to be better off of the print line. So you're more likely to get higher grades on those cards. But it also depends on the set too. So there's some Japanese sets that even, you know, if the cards do come back, in a higher grade, their value really isn't that fantastic. So again, it's going to depend on the set. It's going to depend on your goals. But yeah, like you said, they're typically in better condition from the get-go. All day, all about those hashtag banned cards. Yeah, the banned cards, that's another thing that I've been looking more into, and that if for nothing else than my own personal collection, I really like those banned cards. It it appeals to the more, I guess, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, the more naughty side of PokéNav. Just that the whole connotation behind them, banned cards. As kids, we always wanted what was off limits, and I think it still has the same type of appeal. I do Fizz, thank you for that super chat, my friend. Would you hold or sell Evolutions? Thoughts, Reprint? Right now I'm holding it. I'm holding all of my Evolutions because, as we were talking about before, I think that at the latest, the end of this year, they're going to hit 2,000 a booster box. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens before that, and we see an even higher price on Evolutions by the end of the year. So right now I am holding it. Do I think it's going to reprint? No, I personally don't. Again, guys, we're talking about rotation. We're talking about the time horizon that Pokemon typically reprints products. Now, Evolutions is a little bit of a nuance because it wasn't produced for competitive players. It was really produced for collectors. That's why we had a tendency to see it years after, 3 years, 4 years after it was actually initially released. So yeah, is all they saying the risque. Now you made me lose my train of thought. But yeah, I think that Evolutions is one to just sit on for right now because I don't see any indications of it being reprinted, in my opinion. MS Workmeister, I hope you all have a fantastic Valentine's Day. I appreciate that, my friend. Make sure you enjoy each other before the little one comes. Major changes in the family dynamic. Yep. Well, we've already got one. She is 2.5, and our little boy will be born probably the end of June, early July. So we are really looking forward to it and adding another one to the Nav family. So I got hashtags galore. They just pour out of me. Hashtag Nav family. Mark says, I remember watching your first video and buying 3 cases of Evolutions a week later after doing some research. Been enjoying that investment. Was a great start to your channel, mate. Yeah, I got so much flack about that. I got so much flack for the longest time about recommending Evolutions, and so far it's worked out well. Like I said, guys, I don't have a huge stake in Evolutions. Just a lot of good characteristics about that set that I really thought set it apart and really set it up for long-term success. What's your favorite ever set? Mine has to be Southern Islands. I love Southern Islands, and I still have, if any of you guys are interested, I got another allotment of those Japanese Southern Islands box sets. So if you guys are still interested in that, then be sure to hit me up either on my email, PokéNav27, or on Instagram, because I did get another allotment of those. So if you guys are looking to add any of those to your collection, then I do still have some of those available for sale. And if they don't sell out, then I'll just be posting them onto the website once that is up and running. So you guys will be able to find them there as well. Squeak's Game World for the masterclass. Yeah, that's it's a good idea. I had Pokemon Radar on the first episode, and I know he's got a podcast with Squeaks as well, and I've been following his videos as well. I like what he does, so I'll be sure to reach out to him and see if we can't get him on in the future. Adelina's Adventures, thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate that super chat. You have a great night and a great weekend. All right, guys, one more question here, and then we will go ahead and call it a night. If you guys would, we are at 78 likes. Let's get that over 100, guys. Truly appreciate your support. Appreciate you guys all being here. Is it normal for USPS to say in transit arriving late for over 20 days? I bought a Charizard off eBay. That is pretty strange. In transit, arriving late. Yeah, that is pretty strange, but I've seen I've seen stranger things with the USPS. I hope that works out for you, Lance. It's one of the biggest scares of sending things, either buying or selling products, is them getting lost in transition through the postal service. So I definitely wish you the best, my friend. All right, so I think that is going to do it, guys. Right, real quick before we sign off here, I want to give you guys a heads up on these Q&As moving on into the future. Once the website is done, you guys will be able to sign up, as I've said in the past, with consultation sessions. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, you'll be able to sign up for 30-minute consultation sessions right from the website if you really want to take your knowledge, your investing and collecting to the next level. Beyond that, moving on into the future, the Q&As, because things, I'll be honest with you guys, things are starting to just ramp up more and more for me, and I'm having less and less time to do things on the channel. So I really have to allocate my time very, very well and accordingly. So we've got probably a few more weeks where I will be doing these weekly Q&As with everyone. After that, we are going to go to a members only Q&A. We'll do those probably 2 or 3 times a month. So if you guys want to, if you don't want to go the route of doing the consultation sessions, then you guys can go ahead and perhaps sign up for a membership. Right now it's $3.99. That'll get you guys into a members only Q&A where I'll be able to answer your questions in the same fashion. Like I said, we'll probably do 2 or 3 of those every month, and probably similar, probably on a Friday or something like that. And then it's probably going to be more like 2 times a month, to be honest. And then I'll probably do 1 regular Q&A like this, just with everybody, anyone that's wanting to join in. We will probably do 1 of those per month. But again, like I said, things are just ramping up so quickly, and there's a lot going on, and the channel is growing. The amount of things that I'm now involved in is growing more and more, and I just have to really allocate my time accordingly. So again, if you guys want help, you want questions answered, best way would be to sign up for those consultation sessions. That's really where you can get the best use of your time to really grow your collection or your investments. Beyond that, signing up for a membership on the channel, it is $3.99 a month. Those we'll have 2 of those every month, where we'll have a live Q&A with everybody that is part of the membership, and then beyond that, we'll do 1 of these Q&As with everybody per month. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on all of that, and just to let you guys know, because I don't want to surprise anybody. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it for this Q&A. I want to thank you all for being here, for your tremendous support. Thank you so much for the call to action as well. Hopefully we can get on, all of the individuals that you guys are looking for me to speak with, and I really want to speak with them as well. Other than that, guys, I will see you all next time. You have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. My name is PokéNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon 1 video at a time, and I will see you all in the next video.